order our public budget hearing for December the 1st, 2022. This morning, we are conducting the first of two public hearings on the proposed 2023 budget and the proposed 5-year capital improvement program. The second public hearing will be held this evening at 5:30 p.m. The county's proposed 2023 budget was released on November the 17th, and copies of it and the 5-year proposed capital improvement plan have been available in the Commissioner's office for public review, as well as on the county's website at www.montcopa.org/finance. At the last Board of Commissioners meeting, the County Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Dean Dortone, provided a presentation outlining the key financial highlights contained in the proposed 2023 budget. This presentation can be viewed on the county's website, or printed copies can be obtained at our offices here at 1 Montgomery Plaza. Thank you to Mr. Dortone and your finance team, our senior team, and all of our county departments who worked very closely together over the past several months to identify savings and priorities for 2023. We will make our final decision on this budget at our Commissioners meeting on December the 15th at 10 a.m. This public hearing this morning is intended for the Board of Commissioners to listen and hear comments from the public, but not to respond directly to individual questions during the hearing. Per our public comment guidelines, each member of the public will be given up to 3 minutes to comment. All comments will be recorded in the public record. For those attending in person, please be sure that you have signed in on our sign-in sheet. If you have a specific question that you would like for us to get back to you on, please make sure that we have your contact information on the sheet and we will be sure to get back to you. For those logged in via Zoom, please use the raise your hand button to indicate that you would like to provide comment. We look forward to taking your comments into account as we make our final considerations on this budget for 2023. We will begin with comment from those who are attending in person. I'm going to ask Mr. Stein to go over the rules, please.
Yes, good morning. As the chair mentioned, the purpose of today's hearing is to give public comment on the proposed 2023 county budget. As such, comments shall be limited to that topic. All speakers should sign in as indicated in the back of the room or virtually as indicated by Ms. Co-Francisco. All speakers should come to the podium if they are physically able. Speakers should identify themselves by name and municipality. Speakers will be given an opportunity to speak once during the meeting, and as this meeting will be recessed and will be re-adjourned at this evening, only one opportunity for comment will be given to the public. All public comments must be relevant or germane to the county budget. Under the law, this means that the subject matter of all comments must be limited to items or issues related to the budget. Whether matter is related to the budget is a determination to be made by the county solicitor. A time limit of 3 minutes will be monitored, and the county staff will respectfully request speakers to conclude their comments. Please state your objection.
Giuseppe Monticelli. Objection, 3 minutes, that's not sufficient. ADA, and also we have elderly people here. It used to be 5 minutes. I believe we need a roll call vote. We need to change that back to the 5 minutes. That's my objection on the record. Do we have a second for the objection? We have a second motion laid upon the table.
Your objection is noted. Thank you. A time limit of 3 minutes will be monitored, and county staff will respectfully request speakers to conclude their comments if the speaker goes beyond the time allotted. The board is not required to respond to public comments during the course of the hearing, so the public is reminded it's not an opportunity for questions and dialogue. Yes.
Every meeting, they're not allowed to, or they don't respond. A hearing should be that you should respond. I mean, what are we coming to hear? Ourselves talk? We already know what we want to say. You're supposed to be talking to us. You're supposed to be letting us know. Because, you're going to sit there and you're going to listen with your eyes glazed over, not taking into account anything we say, and then you'll be happy when it's over, and then next week or next meeting, you're just going to approve it.
I second the motion laid upon the table by Ms. Braccio.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin.
Disruptive behavior, including but not limited to yelling from the seats, arguing whether a matter is germane to the budget once the solicitor has made a determination of such, or refusing to yield the floor once time has elapsed and being requested to sit down, shall be grounds for removal or muting from the meeting without further admonishment or warning. And as always, commissioners welcome written correspondence, comments, and feedback at commissioners@montcopa.org.
Thank you, Mr. Stein. All right, Ms. Co-Francisco.
Sure. First we have Dulcie Flaherty.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Dulcie Flaherty. I am Vice Chair of the Montgomery County Planning Commission Board, and I was fortunate to be the chair of the recently completed Return on Environment study. Remarkably, it's been close to 30 years since Montgomery County officials embarked on a vision of protecting endangered open space. Foresighted county leaders invested county citizens' money in saving natural areas, protecting our farms, regreening our towns and boroughs, and building a nationally recognized Montgomery County Trail Network. My 30 years as a conservation professional paralleled that journey, and one compelling reality endures as a North Star in conservation work. People in every community, small or large, rural or urban, affluent or humble, express a common concern: the deeply held desire to protect, preserve, and enhance the places that they cherish. Our county initiatives have helped to make those dreams a reality. The county has been a partner in creating a better place for people to live, work, and play. The recently committed and completed Return on Environment study, generously funded by the County Commissioners and Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, provided some eye-popping data highlighting the benefits of today's investment in green and sustainable communities. Some of these numbers, as you have heard, but I'll reiterate today, are $2.8 billion added to the value of housing stock located within a half a mile of our protected open space. That's $48 million in additional tax revenue generated by these places. Annual economic impact of $160 million coming from open space-related tourism, farming, and park maintenance on our protected open space leads to 1,555 jobs. Environmental services, this is the really big number. What do these green spaces do for our communities? Including flood mitigation, air pollution, removal of things in the air that people want removed for their health and safety, water quality and supply protection. That is $31 million in savings every single year. Our residents receive $219 million in recreational benefits. That means Montgomery County citizens don't need to pay for a gym. They have their trails and open space, and being outside helps their health. So we see that $225 million is saved because people are healthier. Certainly, the past several years have strengthened the rationale for reinvestment in green infrastructure. Our parks and trails were places of escape and respite during COVID quarantines. The devastating floods like Storm Ida impacted property, livelihoods, and safety, showing that we need more green sponges throughout communities. We're doing a great job. 46,000 acres are preserved, and 10% of that is owned and managed by the county.
I'm sorry, your 3 minutes are up.
Okay. Thank you for doing a great job and being our partner, and I hope you can continue to fund these projects.
Next.
Okay. Next we have Jack Querio.
Very good, thank you. Rhymes with Cheerio. Good morning, my name is Jack Quirio. I live in Skippack Township. I feel healthier just having listened to this report. Thank you. My comments today are relating to the budget itself. I know how difficult it is. I've put them together for years and years in my business environment, so I understand the challenges you have. My concern is this. The shortfall that we have this year of about $18 to $20 million is about 3.5% of the overall budget. Am I correct on that? Yes, I am. It's hard for me to fathom that in this entire budget, with all the line items, that this board and whoever is doing the budget cannot come up with a savings of 3.5% to make it a zero-based budget. It is beyond my comprehension that that cannot be done, especially when I see a line item that shows $224 million in construction costs for next year. 224. This year was 192. That's $30+ million difference. Seems to me there could be some savings found in there. And other large items, well, I won't go through all of them because I have limited time. and I don't even want to take the entire 3 minutes. I just put a challenge out to this board and to your budget people to find a way to save that $18 million so you don't have to raise our property taxes. I would also say it's interesting, Limerick, 7 years in a row, has not had to make a real estate increase in taxes. You may want to talk to the folks in Limerick and see how they do that. And it's not being critical, it's saying here's an idea that you may want to take a look at. If they can do it in Limerick, there's no reason the county can't do it as well. Those are my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next we have Robert Rendler.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you in person for a change. My name is Rob Rendler. I'm from Skippack also. I'm not related to this gentleman, but we do live in the same community. My comments today and questions, I hope I don't prove that a fool can ask more questions than a wise man can answer. That said, I'm just want to say 51% of our revenue is from real estate taxes in the county. What is it in other communities? Does anybody know? Bucks County, Montgomery County, etc. Does anybody know where other sources of revenue are coming from for those counties? And do we have those sources available to us too, to help lower that $20 million? The second issue I had was, if I read it properly, the vehicle registration generates $15 million for a $5 fee. If we increase that by $5, we'd have $15 million of the $20 million that we need to make the budget even, if that's possible. Again, I strive with my partner here that we go to a zero-based budget. As a senior citizen, we jumped up and down to see that there's been an increase in Social Security benefits for the first time in a long time. Just so happens that you want 8% of that, inflation wants 8% of that, so we're kind of like floating even for the present time and in the future it looks, because nothing goes down. And my closing comment would be, take the challenge to a zero-based budget. I don't know, there's a lot of money talk in the paper about federal funds coming into this county, and big numbers, really big numbers. Why can't some of that be used to offset some of that 8% increase? That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. And you guys do a great job, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. We can have one of Mr. Dortone's team follow up with you about the answers to those specific questions. And
I'm sorry?
we can have one of Mr. Dortone's team follow up with you about those specific questions that you asked. And also, we do have a program for seniors on fixed incomes that if you qualify for, it's a way of deferring the taxes until the property is eventually sold. So we can make sure that you're aware of that too, in case you or others that you know might want to partake in that program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, next.
Next we have Pauline Braccio.
Good morning, Pauline Braccio, Talmenton Township. A real quick question for Mr. Dortone. Why is the budget not in the same format year to year? Every year you have a totally different format, so when I go to look at it, I can't go back to last year's and look at a page and see that it's the same way. It's, I don't know if you're doing that deliberately or what, I don't know what you have to hide, but it would be really great if from year to year, the format would stay the same. Also, maybe we could put in the budget somebody to keep that clock fixed that's behind me. It's never the right time. The other thing is, well, plenty of more things, probably run out of time, but the Super Center, the Justice Center, that was Judge Del Ritchie's, that's his baby there. I would like for him to come in and explain exactly why we need that building, because he specifically doesn't even punish criminals. I read article after article about how, and sexual crimes especially, like the one guy was put under house arrest. So then he lured girls into his own home and raped them there.
Ms. Braccio,
Okay,
please
so-
bring it back towards the budget.
This is the budget, okay. you're spending and wasting a lot of money on a building that is totally unnecessary. You are not increasing funding for law enforcement. And the judges are letting criminals out with a slap on the wrist or with go stay home, okay? That is not, I don't see how that justifies spending $500 million on a building at all. That money could be used for the homeless. You just closed down a building on the Norristown State property that was used for the homeless. And now you know, so where are you gonna put these people? You know, you're saying that Hurricane Ida did a lot of damage and that's why there's a lot of people who are homeless. Well, okay, that's true. So get moving on fixing up the places that need to be fixed so they can go back home. Okay, why aren't you doing that? You're just spending a lot of money on unnecessary things, totally and completely unnecessary things. And it would be nice to see, like these other gentlemen said, that the budget could be balanced down to zero. There's no reason why we can't do it. You get all this funding in and that $5, no, sir, I don't want them to add another $5 to that registration. It shouldn't be there in the first place, okay? That is laundering money is what you're doing. It's just another tax laundered through PennDOT. PennDOT doesn't get a penny of it. They collect it and they give it to you. Okay, so you're taking $5. Everybody who has a car is paying $5 more every year. For what? What are we getting out of that? Nothing. The roads are no better. There's still detours all over the place. And I'm not talking just about in Norristown, I'm talking about the whole county. You know, every time I want to go from one place to another, I have to take another turn. It's just, you're very wasteful, is what it amounts to. And I don't think you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Next we have Giuseppe Monticelli.
Giuseppe Monticelli, Conshohocken Borough, and also Springfield Township. I want to talk about the Del Ricci Supercenter. This lovely lady over here talks about the trails. I was out at the Conshohocken, the Schuylkill River Trail, okay? Ran across some homeless. I don't know if it's a veteran homeless, God bless the homeless vets. Either way, you have these homeless people that are occupying the trails. I absolutely think we have room inside the Del Ricci Super Justice Center. In fact, I think we should rename it the Del Ricci Injustice Super Center. Also, I think we need to have town halls about that. You're saying one thing with these estimated costs for the super center, and it's just keep on going up and up and up. If we're going to have town halls also as well, let's make it not phone call town halls. We all know what happened at the voting town hall with the election. Also, the community health-based programs, any funds that are going towards that, want to be kept in mind here that they are still hosting any type of therapies still over the phone, these centers. Central Behavioral Health, especially in Willow Grove, they are shut down still to the public. They are not allowing therapy to people in the public in person. They are saying, no, you got to be on the phone. Is there any money in the budget going towards Mako Mamas? We got to protect these pregnancies with these young African Americans. We got to make sure that there's no Planned Parenthoods showing up outside of Arcadia University, a prime location. We got to make sure that ain't happening. Also, the budget. We have these drop boxes we have to pay for. How much were those drop boxes? Now, that's not a continuing thing. We can reuse these drop boxes. How about this special center that we have to tabulate the ballots at? We have to pay for that. That's coming out of the budget. Same thing Ms. Braccio said. It's not the same format each year. Each year, it's always a different format. What's the reasoning on that? Something seems odd. That seems really suspicious to me, and I really, really wish with the homeless situation. I mean, come on, guys. Please, we need to get those homeless people inside the Del Ritchie Injustice Center. I yield the floor back to you, Doctor.
Next we have David Morgan.
I'm David Morgan from Ambler. Thanks for having 3 minutes instead of 2, so I can speak for the public. As a concerned citizen, I note that many residents are making hard choices like skipping food to pay for prescriptions or using credit cards to pay for basics and not paying off the balance. Many homeless people, as we've heard last meeting, have been noted. And inflation, people are all facing, which leads to homelessness. According to Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary, has especially increased by overspending in Washington, trillions. Also, the reduction in our energy independence by the Biden administration has caused everything that is transported to go up in price. Not for the county. Our county website, montcopa.org, needs a front page link to be fully transparent about the Justice Center and other budget items. Last meeting, at 1 hour and 58 minutes, Mr. Griffin cited a stories.opengovernment link, which was hard for me to find. I still wonder how much Justice Center costs are, like phase 1. So I looked in the budget presentation under finance and found inflation of our taxes. There's a 5% tax hike we had in 2021. Page 10 of the 2021 budget presentation. There was an 8% tax hikes in 2022, page 10. There's an 8% tax hike for 2023, currently on page 14. The total is 21% over 3 years, with the compounding of one hike over another. The largest reason for this is that $415 million Justice Center spread over years until 2027. This year, $112 million is proposed for the county campus, aka Justice Center. $232 million, though, was already spent in one meeting for phase 2 in August 2021. Just these 2 outlays of the 112 and 232 is $344 million. We're running low on funds. And so I just took a little chart here. Here's the 415 million goal. And then if you take out the 232 million, which was spent in 2021, we're down to 183 million. Then you take out the 112 million, which is proposed 2023, we get down to 71 million. Then you have the 2020, 32 million was already spent before 2021 already happened. So it's down to 39 million. Then we look at 39 million. Then this year, 79 million is allocated in the budget for the Justice Center. We get to a negative 40 million. So obviously, it's going to be hard to get it under 115 million, your goal. Originally, Commissioner Gale mentioned it was supposed to be 220 million. And he made comments about that I mentioned last meeting. Citizens can't afford this escalation. Bucks County has, in 2015, only 86 million, as reported in the Broad Street Review. More savings can be a better use of the buildings we have. Courts in this are having in this building. Use work from home strategies. Some friends of mine work 2 days at office, 3 at home. Transfer staff to help the police department and.
Would you like to submit your?
I will send more. Yes. I asked Mr. Dortone's help after this meeting.
Next we have Sean Kilkenny.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Sean Kilkenny from Jenkintown Borough, the Montgomery County Sheriff. I want to thank the commissioners and the commissioners and the county staff for their hard work on the budget. I know it's a complex document, especially during these unique financial times. So on behalf of the Sheriff's Office, I want to thank the commissioners and their budget staff for the proposed budget and the thoughtful and responsible 2003 budget in the midst of these times. As you know, deputy and staff recruitment and retention has been a major issue in the Sheriff's Office in recent years, in our view, mostly due to compensation. And we appreciate that you're listening and responding to our concerns regarding salary differentials with neighboring counties. And we applaud the proposed 4% increase for non-represented county employees, which also supplements what you did earlier this summer with, I believe, 3%. So very appreciative of that. And we want to thank for the continuing dialogue and listening to us about hopeful adjustments in the future for our uniformed staff who are represented by the AFSCME union. Aside from the salary, which is a big concern for us, recent public service allocations have enabled us to purchase advanced hearing protection for our deputies and communication systems for our deputies, which help keep our deputies and in turn all of Montgomery County safe. This is critical for our emergency response and crowd control operations. Those funds also allowed us to procure our first ever handicap accessible transport vehicle, which we from time to time have to do from the county correctional facility in Eagleville to here, ensuring safe transportation to and from court for disabled defendants. We applaud the county's continued commitment to partnering with us for public safety, and the equipment upgrades reflected in this budget and the capital improvement plan will definitely help. So we want to thank you on behalf of the Sheriff's Office. Thank you for your hard work. And I know the commissioners do a lot of work, but I know the staff really does the yeoman's work often behind the scenes. So I want to thank you for the dialogue. I want to continue that dialogue, and I want to thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Okay, we'll now move to our virtual public commenters. So just a reminder, if you are logged in, to please indicate you'd like to make public comment by using the raise your hand feature. We'll first start with Terrence Raleigh. You can now unmute.
Good morning.
Again, Terrence, you just have to unmute yourself. If you're speaking, we're not able to hear you. And again, if anyone else logged in would like to give public comment, you can please use the raise your hand feature and we'll call on you in order. Terrence, if you are speaking, we're not able to hear you, so if you just want to unmute your microphone there. Doesn't look like we are able to hear that person. Oh, there we go. Okay, Terrence.
Hello.
Okay.
This is not Terrence.
Oh, well, you can state your name. It might be a different name that you logged in under.
Oh, okay. Barbara Furman, New Hanover Township. I listened to speakers, and certainly the open space comment is appreciated by all of us. I think that's one of the most important values that we have in Montgomery County, and we can all appreciate and agree on that, and wish that commissioners in the past and now would have kept some of these areas like the park house and things like that as what they were, rather than giving them over to developers. And now we're looking at budget where there's an $18 million shortfall, and with interest rates as they are, we are really going to be looking at more and more increases, and 8% is just exorbitant. And with all the funding that you're trying to do for this Justice Center, and it's just the taxpayer really doesn't feel like they have a voice in this. In fact, it almost feels like taxation without representation, which we can be reminded of in history. So the man who spoke about town halls, I've seen it in other counties. Berks County does it, where you actually have a chance for people to speak for more than 3 minutes and to have dialogue. That would be very helpful. And we do not, a lot of taxpayers do not support this increase, and would like you to reconsider this budget, and certainly no increases for commissioners' salaries and as in this tough time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Tara Houseel. Tara, you can now unmute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. This is Tara Houseel, Houseal, from Lower Pottsgrove Township. Thank you for having this hearing on our budget. I want to also say thank you for the open spaces. And it does kind of mortify me that it has been inundated on trails with homeless people and trash. I walk the Schuylkill River Trail a lot, and I was just shocked to see so many trails down, hiding people living in the woods off the trails. But I do enjoy our open spaces, and efforts to keep them safe from drugs and garbage is greatly appreciated. I agree to the comment of seeking help from Limerick Township in keeping a balanced budget and not raising our taxes. It's really hard to swallow having to spend more when I see wasteful spending in the drop boxes, for example. They're not used enough, and it creates a fraudulent, untrustworthy system of voting, which is supposed to be one day. If we could wrangle our spending in and accommodate common sense, I would greatly appreciate that. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Karen D'Angelo. You can unmute to speak.
Hi, this is Karen D'Angelo. I'm the Executive Director at the Montgomery County Norristown Public Library, and I live in Royersford. I want to thank the commissioners and Dean Dortone and all the people there for your support of the library, for recognizing our need for renovations over the next few years, and for recognizing that we have 100 residents of Montgomery County who work for us and who are also facing the same challenges with salaries not matching cost of living. And we're still not going to be able to match it, but you're helping us get there, and we really appreciate that, and thank you for your support. And that's really all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our public comment.
Okay, great. Before we adjourn, any closing commissioner comments, or not adjourn, but recess?
I'd like just to take a minute to thank everyone from the public who attended the hearing today. We have people from Skipback, Calumet, and Conshohock, and people that joined us virtually to express your thoughts regarding the 2023 budget. And I truly appreciate your feedback. It helps me make my decisions. And it's widely known I don't support the budget that's proposed as it stands today. And hopefully things change between now and December 15th when we vote on the final budget. And it's my hope that we do reduce spending and ultimately avoid a property tax increase. So that was the takeaway I received from today, and I hope your voices are heard by my colleagues as well. Thank you.
All right. Then with that, I will move to recess our Montgomery County Public Budget hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Lawrence. Move to a vote. Are there any negative votes? Hearing none, this hearing is recessed until 5:30 p.m. today here in the Commissioners' boardroom. Thank you.